are 18,374. So valid votes in Muguga so far, 5,385. 56 votes have been rejected so far, and votes cast 5,385. Jubilee candidate Mungara Joseph Githinje currently leading in that poll with 55%, and that is 2,973%. The UDA candidate following with a 44%, that is 2,354. We continue to keep our eyes on Muguga as well. Remember, this is important because it continues to translate to the bigger political battle between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. And of course, very important as we head into the 2022 general election. UDA out there, just trying to test the waters, test how big they are on for a show here. And of course, Jubilee trying as much as they can to retain that particular seat that belonged to that particular party from the previous election. So then this is seen as a litmus test between not just UDA and Jubilee, but generally President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. For the deputy president, William Ruto, he wants to garner, from what pundits say, as many votes as he can, as a statement, not just to central Kenya, but the rest of the country, that he has support. He has a support base that he can bank on as we head into the 2022 general election. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Jubilee at large will need to retain these seats for quite a while now. Pundits saying that perhaps President Uhuru Kenyatta is losing out on central Kenya, that there could be a walkout from central Kenya for an array of issues. So the president needs to prove, or the Jubilee party needs to prove, that they still have as much support as they can, and they have hold of these areas, and especially the president's backyard, and this is Kiambaa, a seat they have held for quite a while now. So then it's very interesting, the political dynamics that are tied to this particular race, both in Kiambaa and Muguga. And that's why you can see all eyes are in this particular race to just see who will carry the day at the end of the day. A lot of excitement on social media and beyond, as many, just follow up on the numbers, trying to see who will carry the day, who is leading in that particular race. How did people vote? The turnout's still low, but normal with a by-election. So then it will be interesting to see how this will pan out, and of course the implications of this particular election. Are we going to witness serious alignments and realignments in the political space as a result of this particular mini poll? Let's bring in Jeff Kirui now to talk to us about that. And let's start with the numbers. How far are we now?
Well, very good evening, Akisa. Indeed, there are now 21 polling stations reporting out of 29, so it means we are now remaining with 8 polling stations before we come to an end of the Muguga ward by-election, and the results will be announced officially by the returning officer. As it stands now, a Jubilee candidate is leading with 57%, that is 3,273 votes. We have a UDA candidate, that is Kamau Dhumbi, with 2,433, representing 42%. Moses Gishau is still at 1% with 43 votes, and Peter Njoroge has 18 votes, still representing 0% according to IEBC data. And of course, the turnout for this particular contest is 31.9%. So that tells you that being a by-election, the turnout is still way below the halfway line. And that has been the situation that we've witnessed across all the other by-elections that we've managed to cover, from Kabuchai, Matungu, Machakos, senatorial by-election, Rurie ward, London ward, and Hell's Gate ward. Those are some of actually the contest that we've seen that the turnout has been very low. And right now, this contest, the particular one, the Muguga ward by-election as well as the Kiambaa by-election, according to pundits, it's that it will mirror the outcome of the 2022 general election, considering that the bigwigs in this contest were actually trying to test their political firepower ahead of next year's general election. Remember, it's exactly 390 days to the August 9th general election, and preparations are underway Political parties are gearing, of course, trying to register voters, grassroots election everywhere. And this contest will actually form the basis as a vote of confidence for political parties, and as well to try and gauge themselves heading to next year's general election. Remember, this is Kiambu County, and the outcome of this election will actually determine how the elections and political parties will play their cards heading to next year's general election in terms of the alignment and formation of coalitions. Remember, this is President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard, his home county of Kiambu. And an upset in this particular contest might actually make, or rather cause heads rolling in terms of the Jubilee party. Remember, there has been agitation in that party for grassroots revamping to ensure that heading to next year's general election, the party is actually going to gear to that election heads high. Considering that there has been that fallout between the deputy and his boss, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta, whichever way the outcome goes is actually going as well to mirror on what is going to happen in next year's general election. But as it stands now, the race at Muguga Ward, the leading candidate is the Jubilee candidate, that is his name is Githinji, and we are waiting for the official results to be announced by the returning officer, that is Evanson Githinji, to have the clear winner of this contest. Akisa.
To ask about some of the extra measures that the IEBC has put in place to just avoid chaos within the tallying centers, what was witnessed in Juja constituency, as the same happened where you are?
Largely, this contest has been peaceful from the polling stations that we've managed to visit all the way from 6 a.m. in the morning until the stations were closed at 5 p.m. But we managed to speak to some of the officials from the IEBC as well as the security bosses in this region. And the polling stations were manned by 2 police officers, one outside the polling station and another one inside. And the ballot papers were actually escorted by the 2 officers all the way from the polling station to the main tallying center. And as well, there were other police officers who were manning several other stations to ensure that the security in the area is top-notch, considering the outcomes, or rather the happenings that were in the Juja parliamentary by-election. And unlike the Juja parliamentary by-election, this has been largely a calm by-election, and we witnessed a situation earlier on in the day where the members of the public were actually keen to ensure that the security and integrity of the exercise. For instance, when we were at a Muguga primary school polling station, members of the public actually kept outside the polling station to ensure that no vehicle was actually going to inside the main the polling station, and this, according to them, was to guard any other external forces from carrying any material from outside to the polling station. And only authorized personnel were actually allowed to that polling station, and those were the members of the public who actually who were doing that. As for the security personnel, so far so good. There hasn't been any cases, and as it stands now, even within the main tallying center, only authorized people are actually allowed within the main tallying center. All members of the public are outside the gates. So as it stands now, the security situation in Muguga is okay and everything is calm. Akisa.
Very much for that update. We will continue to bank on you for the latest numbers at the tallying center. Jeff Kirui is covering for us the Muguga by-election, Muguga ward by-election. And of course, we are looking at the latest numbers with the Jubilee candidate on the lead with about 55%. So we'll continue to stream these numbers for you as we continue to get them. The tallying process is ongoing both in Muguga Civic Ward as well as Kiamba constituency, where Emmanuel To is, so that we will continue to keep you posted with the latest on this. Remember, this particular by-election in both localities has attracted a lot of political attention, and we will continue to keep an eye on that. From the kind of attention it has received, it means there are a lot of repercussions that will come with the results of this particular by-elections. So then here on KTN News, we will continue to stream in the numbers for you as they come, both from the Kiambaa constituency by-election and Muguga, where our able teams will be on standby all through the night until when we get the final result and certificates are finally handed over. And on that note, I will end it here. Thank you for joining us here on Crossfire. I am Akisa Wandera. Sign language interpreter is Damien Evers. Thank you for staying with us. Continue to keep it here on KTN News as we continue to take a look at these numbers for you. Have a good night.